Culture resides in the heart. And I think it would do us quite well to remember that as we lament the wokeification of Little Mermaid. So, my friends, I'm sure many of you have heard about the controversy of The Little Mermaid now, the live action remake, which is set to come out in 2023 next summer, includes as Ariel a black girl. Indeed, Halle Bailey, not to be confused with Halle Berry, is now cast in the lead role as Ariel in the live-action film. Now, Disney released a trailer not too long ago as of the posting of this video, and that trailer has, to this date, gotten 1.2 million dislikes and a slew of comments ironically mocking this remake of The Little Mermaid and also mocking the fact that, Ariel is black. And there have, of course, been a lot of Twitter commenters. One even, which has offered to digitally alter the skin color of Ariel to make her back into a ginger-haired white girl in the words of that poster. And of course, a lot of people have been, especially on the left, have been saying that these attacks are racist and they just don't like the fact that there's black girls, a black girl rather, in Little Mermaid or what have you. So I didn't think I was going to comment on this. When I first saw the trailer, I thought that Halle Bailey had a very, very beautiful singing voice. I think that she still does. But then I began to realize something, that even though I saw this as trivial at first, a lot of people are dismaying over this. Not because they're racist. In fact, I think most of the comments that people are saying about this have nothing to do with them being racist or not racist, but in fact have very much to do with the fact that something that they cherish deep in their hearts, that most likely had a big impact on their childhood, is now being altered to serve a political agenda. And so as I investigated this idea, I saw two things that I want to bring to you guys' attention. The first thing was that changing Ariel to be represented by a black girl is another example of the idea of representation. Now, representation, for those of you who do not know, is this sort of a new age idea that since there are, and this is how the idea goes, since there are minorities who have been historically underrepresented, presumably due to racism, we have to, as an attempt to amend for that racism, that represent minorities in places and cultural institutions, whether that be in terms of sports, whether that be in terms of medicine, whether that be in terms of entertainment. In this case, representation is basically an attempt to grapple with what people who support that idea believe is a legacy of racism. Now, this idea is flawed for numerous reasons. Number one, representation puts the emphasis and the value on a superficial characteristic, skin color. You don't represent skin colors. You represent values, beliefs. Representation, properly understood, is a spiritual process, not a material process. The moment you take representation to be on the basis of skin color or sexual orientation, means essentially you're reducing it to a material process. I happen to be, and I don't mention this often, but I happen to be a gay man, happen to be a black man. There are people who would want to represent me by including more gay black men in various areas of society. But just because someone is gay and black does not mean they represent me or what I stand for. Also, there may be the factor of choice here. There could be a possibility that gay black men or black women don't want or don't tend to work in certain fields. Yet representation presumes that if there's a lack of them or a lack of some other group in a field, it is inherently due to discrimination and marginalization. Again, this is a flawed premise that is based on a sort of systemic, institutional view of the world, as opposed to a common sense view of the world, which sees everyone as an individual, capable of free will and free choice, and capable of directing their lives in the way they want to. Disparities rather are not instances of injustice. They may very well just be the result of free people acting in accordance to their God-given conscience. But there's a bigger problem here, my friends. And this is the problem of culture. Now, some of you may remember that I actually did a little bit of a sing-along to The Little Mermaid a few months back when I made my video on Disney going woke. Here's a little bit of that right here. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm a girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything. And so part of that video was to show just how Disney has deviated from its original mission, but also to show the importance that certain cultural icons have in our development and our formation. And this is what I really want to hit home here, my friends, especially for those of us and those of you who may be upset about this Halle Bailey, playing Ariel. No one can take away what these culturally significant things mean to you. No matter if they want to do a remake of it, no matter if they want to revise the history of the character, no one can take away what you felt or what happened to you the first moment you saw The Little Mermaid, the first moment you heard Out of This World, the first moment you saw The Lion King or Mulan. That is special to you. And I believe that a lot of people, by getting incredibly angry over remakes and reruns and all that kind of stuff, don't remember that culture comes from the heart. Culture comes from you. You get to decide how those things made you feel. You get to decide what Ariel means to you. No one has the license to edit that or reframe that. Let me give you an example. As a Star Wars fan, many Star Wars fans absolutely abhor the prequels. The Phantom Menace, where there's Jar Jar Binks, the Attack of the Clones, the Revenge of the Sith. Many of them just hate them and don't like them whatsoever and claim that George Lucas ruined Star Wars. Many also abhor the past 3 movies that were made with J.J. Abrams and Disney. But the Star Wars canon is much bigger than the prequels and much bigger than J.J. Abrams or Disney. Those first 3 movies, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, still remain the authentic Star Wars for so many fans, and the long list of comic books and video games and novellas that have been created from the Star Wars franchise also remain the authentic Star Wars. Star Wars does not live in a corporate headquarters, it lives in our hearts. The Little Mermaid does not live in the corporate headquarters of Disney, it lives in all of our hearts. And the moment we believe that, and understand that, is the moment the wokeification of anything becomes powerless to impact us. I heard Frank Sinatra, and I have to express this through song, so excuse me, but I heard Frank Sinatra say this: "We may never meet again on the bumpy road to love, but still I'll always keep the memory of the way you wear your hat, the way we danced till 3, the memory of all that. They can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams. They can't take that away from me." What is the meaning of what I just said? There are certain things about something, about cultural icons, about culture itself, that are so deeply personal that no one but you gets to decide what those things mean. This is the beauty of art. Art is ultimately subjective. Obviously, art has some objective parameters, but how you interact with art is personal and deeply matters to you. I still remember Ariel as that girl who is looking beyond her material conditions, looking beyond her family life, going into the vast expanse of the unknown to seek out meaning, which is, by the way, a principle that all of us can take in our own life, going beyond our comfort zone to seek out meaning. I still remember Ariel as that girl, as that princess who sang part of that world, who wanted to know, how does this circumstance over here differ from mine, who had that inquisitive mind. And no one, not a Disney executive or producer or writer, can take that away from me. And millions upon millions of other people, of other kids who grew up with Little Mermaid like I did, they also understand what they felt when they saw those scenes. In Mulan, when the song begins, "Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're the saddest bunch I've ever met. So get back, go home, you're through. Mister, I'll make a man out of you." What does that mean? There are some things that are immovable in our hearts, my friends. And when you say Disney ruined Little Mermaid, what you're really saying is, I am not committed enough to my memory of what once was to defend that in my heart. I'm going to let someone come into my heart, into my experience, and take that over. That's what you're really saying. We've got the way you beat wokeification, the way you beat cultural subversion, the way you beat back these evil forces that are trying to distort meaning and destroy truth is by saying, I understand what this means, and you can't take that away from me. That's the message to come out here. Take a thoughtful approach. Don't get angry. Don't digitally alter pictures. Don't get mad at Halle Bailey, who is, I'm sure, an amazing actor and will do a great job in this film. But instead, look inward and say, what did I feel when I first saw this? And how can I keep that flame alive? If you keep that flame alive, you can light the torch in the hearts of other people who may come in the future, who you want to also bear that flame. That's the principle here, my friends. Remember the past, hold on to the past in a way that helps you better appreciate the future. All right, my friends, think on it. I love you guys so much. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, comment on this video. My friends, I love you guys so much. Don't go away from me, as the old song says, and please stay pensive. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.